For most everyday athletes, checking your time at the end of a run, or maybe even your pulse rate after a long bike ride, is probably all the measurement that most of us need. But for high-performing athletes, like those training for the Olympic or Paralympic Games, sports performance technologies can help shave valuable seconds off their time and increase their chances of bringing home that shiny gold medal. Today, we've come to the Canadian Sports Centre Pacific, an innovative high-performance training environment tucked away inside the former Athletes Village from the 2010 Olympic Games, to see exactly how they're helping get Canada's athletes onto the podium.
My name is Clarke Lind. I'm a triathlete. I'm from Vancouver, but I race bikes in Italy for the year, and I love being on camera. I train essentially to race on the ITU circuit, which is the International Triathlon Circuit. I'm from Vancouver. I've been living in Italy, and I'll be heading down to Washington, D.C. to finish my master's at Johns Hopkins.
So helping us out today is Dr. Ben Spoor. Thanks for showing us around.
My pleasure.
Now, I see we've got an athlete here riding away. He's hooked up to all sorts of crazy stuff.
Yeah, we've got Clarke. He's doing what we call an incremental bike test.
Okay.
Throughout this whole process, you see a whole bunch of tubes connected to Clarke, and what we're trying to do here is to see Clarke's capabilities on the bike and look at points where we can then provide information back to him and his coach about how to train better and be faster. Primary piece of information we're getting out here is how much oxygen they're able to use. The amount of oxygen at each of the workloads, and if we were to take Clarke to max today, we look at the maximal capacity, like how big is his engine.
Okay. So do you ever hook an athlete up to here and go, there's not much potential here?
Do you want to try?
So while Clarke's been riding here, you guys have been jabbing this poor guy's finger every so often, sucking the blood out. What's that all about?
We're taking a lactate measure here. You know that burn you feel typically in your muscles?
Yeah, I feel that a lot.
It's not exact, but the reality is that's what lactate's related to. So the higher the intensity goes, the higher the lactate values go.
So what do you do with all that data then from the lactate?
Lactate
measuring?
Specifically,
Yeah.
we actually put them into a curve on a graph that looks relative to power, what happens to that lactate value. And it gives us one piece, along with the metabolic data, to get a better picture of what's happening inside of Clarke here.
To make him a super athlete.
You got it.
So this doesn't look like a regular set of pedals. Can you tell me about it?
This is one of the neatest pieces of technology lately. It's called a power meter. This in here is an SRM. This is sort of the gold standard of the power meters. We also have some really good other power meters on the market, like the Quark system or the Power Tap.
So where's the data actually going?
Good question. It's basically being transmitted wirelessly from here to a control device. This is called a power controller. It's stored here and it displays while an athlete's riding. Heart rate, power, cadence. You can actually put it on your personal bike, and it actually takes the science and the measurement of power out of the lab and into the field.
So someone like even me can use this?
You betcha. Actually, a lot of people are using it nowadays, specifically in cycling. A lot of recreational people are using it regularly.
Well, I certainly have learned a lot here today. It's no question that athletes have really advanced their training using technology. We can see how we can get that data from both the lab and the field and work together to really help improve the athlete's performance. You can take my blood now?
You're going to have to work a lot harder than that, I'm sorry.
Come on, I've been riding for at least a minute and a half here.
Well, keep it up and we'll get it in a bit.
Oh, sweet mother of God, I don't know how you do this I can't even get my leg over.